Happy Wednesday, the 10th day of February 2021. We're off to a rousing start. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. We are live here from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee on a cold Wednesday morning. It's 14 degrees outside. We're in the middle of the coldest day the coldest day we've had in over a year. The last time we were this cold was January 17th of last year. Been a long time since we were this cold, and it's going to get colder. Forecast details are coming up, and now they're talking maybe a little bit of snow for the Wenatchee Valley. Cold air coming down from Canada via the Arctic, and there is a storm system coming up from Oregon, and those two are going to get together, and we can see some white stuff towards the end of this week, certainly Thursday and Friday. Details are coming up. A lot of news, an adult portion of news, but we won't check identification. It's cool. Your kids can watch. Some of it crime related. It's a busy day in the newsroom yesterday. Plus, we'll have election results from yesterday's special elections. We got everything else that you need. We'll have sports, including this whole Russell Wilson thing that's kind of gotten Seahawk fans a little concerned. He was on the Dan Patrick show saying, I don't know. We'll talk about that. The obscure holiday today in history, some celebrity birthdays, and Mike Magnotti has an opinion. And did we mention it's cold? We did? Okay, thank you. It's cold. Let's see what we have around the Wenatchee Valley from the cross camera. Not quite sunrise, but we're getting pretty close. 11 minutes away, 7:13. Will be sunrise this morning. Sunset 5:17. That's 10 hours and 4 minutes of daylight. That's our cross camera. By the way, have you noticed that the cross is much brighter now? I think they changed the bulbs out. It looks like maybe they put in LED light bulbs on the cross. I just noticed this morning how very bright the cross was at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights, and that camera is right next to the cross, just about 10 feet away from it as we look over the Wenatchee Valley from our 4K camera. That's has 4 times the resolution as a regular high-definition camera, which is pretty phenomenal in and of itself. Beautiful morning, but a little on the cool side. So that's always our beginning camera, and from this point forward, Megan gets to decide, and I have to guess. And Megan has decided that she wants to visit, I want to say, Hose Landing. That's Stamen Flats. Well, I blew that one. I'm on the wrong side of the river. For one thing, Stamen Flats on the Chelan County side of the river. That's the Columbia River, the highway that you see. You just saw briefly some headlights. That's the Douglas County side of the river. Stamen Flats is pretty much decision-making time on your way up to Chelan on the west side of the Columbia on 97A. You're either going to take Navarre Coulee or you're going to keep right on going on 97A through the Knaps Hill Tunnel. That's the Stamen Flats area. Camera number 3. Let's see if I blow this one. Now that's got to be Badger Mountain. Confirmation from Megan that is Badger Mountain. It is so high up you can see the curvature of the earth. Well, not really. It's optical illusion, but still pretty cool. Wenatchee's down there. You can just make out the west side of the valley. The east side of the valley, of course, is blocked by the East Wenatchee Bench. As we look down from Badger Mountain, a phenomenal view there. And of course, Badger Mountain Road has been very busy because Pine Canyon, the other route to Waterville, is shut down and will be still for quite some time. So if you're driving between the Wenatchee Valley up to Waterville to do business in Douglas County or elsewhere, that's pretty much your only option, Badger Mountain Road. Thank goodness they paved that thing about 10 years ago. And finally, camera number 4. Beautiful view of Lake Chelan from the Manson Water Tower. Am I correct, Megan? Yay! Megan says, yep, I'm correct. A few clouds up there in the Chelan area, and outside of that, things are looking good. Hi, Manson. How are you? By the way, your EP&O levy for the Manson School District passed big time. The voters said, yeah, well, we have no problems with that. We're in. We'll have that when we get to the news. A couple of slides to show for you. First of all, there's a wind chill advisory for some locations, especially up in the Okanagan area. Now, the Okanagan-Omak Valley, of course, runs north-south, and it's narrow, and winds have a tendency to be a little more intense. They get channeled into those small little canyons and hollers in the valley, and they pick up an intensity, which is why, with the combination of the really cold air and the wind picking up an intensity, Look at the wind chills up in the Okanagan area, in the negatives. I mean, well into the negatives, spilling even over into the Methow Valley. You see Winthrop, wind chill for Thursday morning will be -5. Omak, Okanagan -14. Chelan -2. These are wind chills. Wenatchee right around 8 degrees. When you factor in the wind chill and, of course, the Idaho Panhandle, same deal there. It's just plain cold. So it doesn't take a lot when you're outside to get exposed to bad stuff to your skin. And now, of course, they're adding a little bit of snow, perhaps, to the region. Here's the situation. Cold air coming down from Canada. A storm system moving up north from Oregon, which means the southern portion of our state and right on into the east slopes of the Cascades, including the Wenatchee Valley, could get some light snow Thursday and Friday. Now, here's the deal. It's going to be, whatever snow we're going to get, fairly light, an inch tops, probably less than an inch. And, of course, because there's very little moisture in the air, the relative humidity is very low. The snow will be as light as powder. But the farther south you go, the better chance you have snow. Now, this is normally not the case, but, of course, normally, the storm systems come off the Pacific Ocean, dump a bunch of snow into the Cascades, and we stay fairly dry because of our geographical location. But there's nothing really to stop the storm system as far as terrain-wise when they come up from the south. So a little snow tomorrow and Friday. Can't rule it out. From the super smart people at the National Weather Service, here's your forecast. 31, maybe. I mean, it's cold now. It's 14. Yesterday at this time, it was 18 degrees. I don't know if we're going to get to 31. Yesterday's high, for the record, 29, and the low was 18. Normal, we're at 40. So, yeah, well below normal for our afternoon highs. All right through the board until we get to Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Partly cloudy today, chilly, 20 for the overnight low. Look at the overnight lows Thursday night, Friday night, right into the weekend. Very, very cold. 12 degrees, 15 degrees. We'll be lucky to get to the lower 20s for the Wenatchee Valley, but we got it easy compared to other locations. As I just mentioned, up in the Omak, Okanagan area, in the Methow area, you have a combination of low sunlight, narrow canyons, and narrow valleys where the wind can pick up in intensity. You have all that stuff, and it's just going to be cold and very dry as far as the relative humidity is concerned. I'm going through lotion like crazy lately. Just can't seem to get enough lotion on my skin. It just dries right out. It's like a giant sponge. So that's your forecast, 8 minutes after the hour. Let's go ahead and take a look at your passes, shall we? Things are good. No problems there. That's I-90. No advisories, no restrictions, clear skies up above, and everyone's in love. Now, we have clear skies on Stevens Pass, but there is traction tires advised with some compact snow and ice on the roadway. Obviously, there's no snow melt going on up there. It's cold. It's 17 degrees at the summit of Stevens Pass. Again, traction tires are advised there. Blue, it's okay. Looks like the plows have really done a good job on 97. As you can see, no advisories, no restrictions. Roadway is bare and dry. Snow today? None, really. Tomorrow, a couple of inches. Thursday night, a couple of inches. Friday, maybe an inch. Friday night, inch or two. Saturday, inch or two. No significant snow expected for the mountain passes. Next snow that could really get dicey will be Sunday night into Monday, which is a holiday. A lot of people will be hitting the roads for a 3-day weekend. Traditionally, President's Day, which is Monday, is the busiest day of the year at Mission Ridge. A lot of people will take Friday off. They take Monday off for the holiday, and they come to the Wenatchee Valley and throw themselves down the side of a mountain on a couple of skinny pieces of fiberglass. And I say, have at it. 9 minutes after the hour, take a break. When we come back, your Wednesday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
Winco, we do everything. Everything everything to save you money. Top quality and no membership fees ever. Winco.
Now in Wenatchee at 1340 North Wenatchee Avenue.
10 minutes after the hour, we're starting to warm up. It's a balmy 16 degrees outside of our studios. We'll be lucky to get to 30 today with a fairly good dose of sunshine. Then it's going to be a mixture of clouds and sun, with the clouds getting the upper hand deeper into the weekend. Some chance of some light snow flurries, intermittent off and on snow flurries starting tomorrow and really lasting into the weekend. No big accumulations, but going to get a little snow, it looks like. And here are your headlines. A Wenatchee man who did not take kindly to police publicizing they were trying to find him last week, taken into custody on Tuesday. Wenatchee Police Captain Edgar Reinfeld said David Ernesto Lopez was arrested on several outstanding warrants in a trailer outside of Wenatchee home. Now, the department posted a photo of Lopez on its Facebook and Instagram pages last Thursday. They were asking for the public's help in trying to find him. Lopez responded with a series of posts on the Wenatchee Police Department's Facebook page, telling police to focus on real criminals and calling officers suckers. Police say Lopez was wanted on warrants for second-degree rape, unlawful imprisonment, first-degree negligent driving, obstructing law enforcement, driving with a suspended license, and violating a domestic violence no-contact order. 3 burglary suspects were arrested after a high-speed chase. This happened early yesterday morning that ended up with a suspect's vehicle crashing just south of Moses Lake. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said a deputy was doing a focused patrol because of recent burglaries in that area at about 3 in the morning when he reported seeing people loading tires into a pickup at Commercial Tire on North Frontage Road in Moses Lake. The suspects then fled at speeds reaching 90 miles an hour, deputies in pursuit. The sheriff's office said the suspects were throwing objects from the truck in an attempt to disable the pursuing patrol cars, and then the pickup crashed at Highway 262 East and Road M Southeast. The driver, identified as 46-year-old Christopher B. Howard, had to be extricated from the pickup. Then he was transported to Samaritan Hospital in Moses Lake for unspecified injuries. The 2 passengers, 26-year-old Andrew Z. Paulman and 26-year-old Ricky Ann Garcia Lalk, were treated and released at the hospital for their injuries. The suspect faces possible charges of felony eluding, possession of stolen property, and trespassing. The man accused of abducting his former girlfriend in a terrifying car ride from Wenatchee to Ellensburg and back has been formally charged with kidnapping. 19-year-old Trey Michael Haberlock is also charged with robbery, assault, and felony harassment for allegedly holding the woman captive, beating and threatening her at knife point, and stealing her phone during the ordeal on January 20th. Haberlock was arraigned Monday in Chelan County Superior Court. He remains in jail on $500,000 bond. The case of a Kashmir woman who admitted killing her elderly mother may be reaching its conclusion. Lawyers say 71-year-old Anita Burgess Jones is likely to enter a plea agreement next week for the January 2020 murder of her mother. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies found 96-year-old Catherine Burgess Wickzai dead in the Kashmir home she shared with her daughter. They say Jones called police and admitted to strangling her mother, stabbing her, and bludgeoning her to death. Now, Jones underwent psychiatric assessment and was found competent to stand trial. The case had been scheduled to go to a jury later this month. Voters of the Wenatchee, Cascade, and Manson school districts overwhelmingly approved various levies on the ballot in yesterday's special election. The renewal of the Wenatchee School District's EP&O levy that was first approved 4 years ago passed. 61.82% of voters voting yes, 38.18% voting no. Both levies in the Cascade School District saw over 60% approval by voters. The replacement EP&O levy garnered 60.52% yes votes to 39.48% no votes. Now, the levy designating funds for improving technology, safety, and security upgrades for the Cascade School District saw 62.02% of voters approving and 37.98% of voters rejecting the measure, and almost 70% of voters in the Manson School District approved the replacement EP&O levy with a 69.48% saying yes and 30.52% saying no. A simple majority was needed for the levies to pass. 2,076 ballots spread among the three districts have yet to be tabulated. The Grant County Health District on Monday announced the deaths of 4 more county residents from COVID-19. The deaths bring the county's total to 109 since the pandemic began. The deaths announced Monday: a Cooley City man in his 70s, a Moses Lake man in his 70s, a Quincy man in his 70s, and a Moses Lake man in his 80s. The health district said all 4 men had underlying health conditions that put them at higher risk. East Wenatchee is the 13th safest mid-sized city. Brewster, the 7th safest small city in the state. That's according to a study done by the website Advisor Smith. The site says they used FBI crime data from 180 cities in Washington to come up with its rankings. Wenatchee did not make the top 20 of safest mid-sized cities in the rankings. Sammamish was ranked as the safest large city, Camas as the safest mid-sized city, and Colville as the safest small city. A community-wide effort has been launched to show support for healthcare workers. In north central Washington, the Blue Ribbon Campaign encourages residents to tie a blue ribbon around a tree or a pole at their home, or put a blue ribbon card in the window of their home or their business. The effort, launched by chambers of commerce and public information officers in Chelan and Douglas counties to show support for healthcare workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. The blue represents the color of scrubs. Blue ribbon cards, by the way, can be downloaded at the Chelan County website, which is co.chelan.wa.gov. And finally, this morning, the Washington State Patrol is mourning the death of one of its troopers who was killed Monday in an avalanche in the Cascades. The State Patrol confirming that 51-year-old trooper Steve Hoole of Clay Elm died in the French Cabin Creek area of Kittitas County. The Kittitas County Sheriff's Office said Hoole was riding snowmobiles with a friend at about 12:40 Monday afternoon when they were buried by the avalanche. A friend was able to dig himself out and make his way to the snow park to call for help. Kittitas Search and Rescue and the Kittitas County Sheriff's Office spent hours searching for Hoole before finding his body at about 7 p.m. Hoole was a 28-year veteran of the State Patrol. State Patrol Trooper John Bryant knew Hoole well and tells us more.
I personally knew Steve for roughly 10 years, mostly because of living and working in Kittitas County, which is basically Steve's area, Steve's backyard, especially what we call Upper County, Clay Elm, Easton, that area. That he was just one of those outdoorsman types that those of us who don't get to go outdoors as much live vicariously through Steve, whether it be hunting, fishing, motorcycles, snowmobiling, and he has this little bike. I guess there's a new thing where you can go set up a motorcycle to make it like a snow bike. And when you hear those stories, you're just kind of live through him. And unfortunately, you learn all that when we have our coffee breaks, which we haven't had in a long time because of COVID. But you learn a lot about people and their life and their family. And Steve, just an open, honest guy who a lot of people knew. And no one ever said anything bad about Steve because he's always helping people out, or if you had an idea, a suggestion, he'd know where to go, especially with the Upper County or even down here, or places he'd gone to and fished and just knew the area real well, and people knew him and liked him and trust him. You have a lot of troopers that kind of go, come through Ellensburg and maybe they retire or they move on, but they all kind of knew and met Steve. He's just a guy you see a coffee break or anywhere, and someone you could trust, big smile on his face, and all the people that I've talked to kind of today and last night, just a helpful guy. And as far as a trooper, his knowledge was pretty much unsurpassed, especially in this area, and a lot of his friends and really close friends and family are obviously having that tough time today. I know it was tough last night. We did after once they recovered him, we did a procession from the area through Clay Elm down to the the funeral home in Ellensburg, and a lot of lights on the roadway driving I-90, and so it was pretty emotional moment, but well respected, well liked guy, and gonna be missed by a lot of people. Just to not have him around, it just seems odd to me, and it will to a lot of people. And
condolences to the whole family from all of us here at the NCW Life Channel. Those are your headlines. At just about 21 minutes after the hour, we will have another newscast for you. It was a busy day yesterday, and it's going to be a busy day today. I got that feeling. And some people just talk about the weather. But Grant Olson, he really talks about the weather. With the preview of tonight's news, here's Grant.
Thanks and good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, cold outside and getting colder with possibly dangerous wind chills. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will be in with a look at what's happening in the world of sports. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. I make a point to watch the news with Grant and Eric. We hope you do too. Look at the bottom of your screen. That's any number of ways you can get a hold of us, most of it internet related. You can email us directly if you have a news tip or a comment or just want to drop us a note and say hi. news@ncwlife.com. You can email, I just did the email. You can go to Facebook, use Facebook Messenger, the app there, or you can go to our website, ncwlife.com, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You can drop us a note via our homepage. Going to take a break. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday. Today in history, some celebrity birthdays. And Mike McNaughty's got an opinion because he's Mike McNaughty. And you're entitled to his opinion. It's all coming up. You're watching Wake Up on Angie Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Link Transit is ready when you are. With enhanced health and safety measures, we've installed upgraded air purifiers and safety partitions between drivers and passengers. Plus, the interior of all of our buses are thoroughly cleaned and disinfected every day. When riding Link Transit, please remember to wear a mask, maintain physical distance, sign up for transit alerts, and stay home if you are sick. Healthier Transit is here. Go to linktransit.com to learn more.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in North Central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
23 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday. Sports. Russell Wilson's in the news after the Super Bowl, and it's not for winning the Walter Payton Award. No, it's for something else. He appeared on the Dan Patrick Show, Russell did, and he was asked if he's available for a possible trade with another team.
What do you make of CBS Jason La Canfora saying that Seattle had gotten calls for possible trade talks with you? Do you believe that Seattle has gotten calls?
Yeah, I definitely believe they've gotten calls for sure. I think that I think anytime you're a player that tries to produce every week and has done it for consistently, I think people are going to call for sure, and I think it's part of the process.
Yeah, but you're a franchise quarterback. You're a Hall of Fame quarterback. You're not available, are you?
Well, I'm not sure if I'm available or not. That's a Seahawks question. But I think more than anything else is, I think at the end of the day, you want to win. You play this game every day to wake up to win. You play this game, to be the best in the world. What I hate? I hate sitting there watching other guys play the game. There's nothing worse.
By the way, you looked miserable at the Super Bowl watching.
Yeah,
the
there's a picture of Sierra and Roger talking. I'm sitting there pissed off. I'm watching this game, wishing that I was in there playing. I think that ultimately you watch the games and you want to do everything you can to be there. That's why we play this game, and so I think that part of it's really key. And I think that the reality of professional sports is things happen, things change. I'm not sure, how long I'll play in Seattle. I think hopefully it was going to be, be forever, but things change obviously along the way. And I think that you focus on what you can control every day and try to be the best version of yourself, and ultimately try to win championships. And I think that's that's why I play this game.
Now, the discussion regarding Wilson talking about his future with the Seahawks, all the rage on sports talk shows throughout the country since he was on Dan Patrick's show on Tuesday. The team, meanwhile, reportedly admits that, other NFL teams have reached out inquiring about the availability of Russell Wilson. The answer, by the way, according to the Seahawks, is no, he's not available. One of the imperatives in the offseason as the Seahawks introduce their new offensive coordinator is try to figure out how to get a better offensive line so Russell Wilson doesn't get hit so much. The topic of sacks also came up during the Dan Patrick interview.
About these numbers, you've been sacked 394 times in your career. So you're going to be the most sacked quarterback in the history of the game. Why?
Yeah. Well, I think that sometimes you hold on to it a little bit, just because you're looking for that play and you find those guys, but also so many times those turns into touchdowns too. But to be you never want to be sacked that many times. 400 times basically is way too many. 400 too many. So I think that's a big thing that we got to fix. That's got to be fixed, and has to be, at the end of the day, because my goal is to play 10 to 15 more years. And so when you think about that and longevity and legacy and all that, and you watched the game the other night, the difference between that game was, Tom was taking shots down the field and getting the ball, to his guys and stuff like that. But, he wasn't touched really. He got touched. I think he got sacked one time in the game.
By the way, Russell Wilson also admitted during the interview that he would like to be more involved in personnel decisions going forward with the Seahawks. All right, to the NHL, the scoreboard from last night. Let's see, what do we have for you? The Panthers topped the Red Wings. The final there was 2-1. Tyson Barrie's second goal of the season helped the Oilers get by the Senators in Ottawa. Final there was 3-2. Tampa Bay, no problem, 6-1 in Nashville. For the second night in a row, Chicago and Dallas went to overtime, and for the second night in a row, the Blackhawks got the win as Pius Suter got the game winner. The Golden Knights registered their 8th win of the season. They defended their home ice over Anaheim 5-4. San Jose skated away with a shootout win over the Kings. And Elias Lindholm scored the only goal in the third period, and that was enough. The Flames edged the Jets in Calgary. The final was 3-2. Very light schedule on the ice tonight, just 2 games. Rangers will host Boston and New York at 4 o'clock, and Toronto skates in Montreal at 4:30. Let's talk college basketball in the schedule for the rest of the week. Take a look at it. Washington will host number 20 USC tomorrow night in Seattle at 7 o'clock. The game televised on the Pac-12 network. The Cougars will host UCLA in Pullman at 8 o'clock. That game on FS1. Number 1 Gonzaga hits the floor in San Francisco Saturday, 3 o'clock, ESPN2. The Huskies will take on UCLA at 4:30 on the Pac-12 network, and then Washington State has a 5 o'clock tip time with the Trojans on ESPNU. To the ladies we go. A very busy women's schedule gets underway tomorrow night. Haley Van Lith's Louisville Cardinals will host Georgia Tech. It's actually 4 o'clock our time. Number 17 Gonzaga will host San Francisco at 5 o'clock. On Friday, Pac-12 play features Washington at Arizona State at 4 o'clock. Washington State will visit number 10 Arizona at 6 on the Pac-12 network. Gonzaga back in the kennel Saturday at 2 o'clock. West Coast Conference play. They'll take on Santa Clara. And then on Sunday, number 3 Louisville will play at Syracuse at 10 o'clock on ESPN2 if you want to watch Haley play on national TV. By the way, the Huskies will play at Arizona at 11 on the Pac-12 network. Washington State scheduled at Arizona State Sunday morning at 11:30. And now here's our TV schedule for you local sports fans. Hockey night tomorrow night. Going to go back to December of 2019. The Wild hosting the Alberni Valley Bulldogs at the Town Toyota Center. Puck drops at 7. Art Jecker on the play-by-play. Big Nine girls basketball takes center court Friday night. Wenatchee hosts Eastmont in a game from last February 1st. Eric and Grant courtside. Play-by-play begins at 7. On Saturday, we have Big Nine wrestling between Ike and Wenatchee from January 23rd of last year. That's at 2 o'clock. Eric will be mat side at Eastmont High School. And then at 7 on Saturday night, you got Eastmont and Wenatchee boys basketball back at the Wenatchee High School gym. And again, Eric and Grant have the call right here on the NCW Life Channel. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. on this Wednesday. 3 obscure holidays I got to choose from today. Today is National Home Warranty Day. My guess is Home Warranty Company came up with that one. Today is National Cream Cheese Brownie Day. I have no idea what that is. But umbrellas. Let's talk umbrellas. Today is National Umbrella Day. Always on the 10th of February for reasons unknown. As far as personal protection from inclement weather, can't really go wrong with an umbrella. Keeps you dry when it's raining, keeps the sun off you if it's sunny and hot and you need shade, and it's portable. You can take it just about anywhere. If you have an umbrella, the odds are really good it was made in China, and for obvious reasons. Umbrellas are especially popular in China. Way back in the old days, the Chinese servants would use them to shield Chinese nobility from the rain or the sun. They didn't have to hold it up themselves. They had other people to do that. Umbrellas, let's see, as of 2008, this is an amazing statistic, almost every umbrella in the world is made in China. It's been that way for quite some time. In fact, the city of Chengdu alone has more than 1,000 factories that make umbrellas. That's all they do is they make umbrellas, and they got over 1,000 of them in one province. That's remarkable. How many umbrellas are sold in the United States each year? About 33 million umbrellas, worth about $348 million. In fact, in the U.S., umbrella-related patents are so popular that the U.S. Patent Office has 4 agents whose only job is to assess patents for umbrellas. It's also a really good song by Rihanna, about 15 years ago. Big hit song called Umbrella. I like it. National Umbrella Day. I got 4 of them, and they're all golf umbrellas. Go figure. 32 minutes after the hour. Today in history. That is Her Majesty's the Dreadnought. That is the Dreadnought, the first of the revolutionary new breed of battleships, is christened and takes to the sea February 10th, 1906, 113 years ago, the Queen of the Royal Navy, the most technologically advanced ship that had been built ever. Better armed, it was faster, it was stronger than any other battleship ever built. This was a worldwide event, and all the rest of the navies in the world had some catching up to do when the Dreadnought, which means fear nothing, was launched 113 years ago. And it also inspired one of the great hoaxes ever. There they are, the Prince of Abyssinia and his royal consorts and his translator. There they are. That's actually Horace Cole and 5 friends who pulled off the remarkable hoax. 4 of them dressed in turbans and robes, and they had their skin darkened by makeup, and they convinced the commander of the Dreadnought that the Prince of Abyssinia and his traveling party was visiting Britain, and they would like a VIP tour of the HMS Dreadnought, and they were given one. They were welcomed with protocol, they exchanged gifts, they toured the ship, they had a translator. The Prince of Abyssinia and his royal consorts would respond with bunga bunga. That's what they would say whenever they were trying to communicate. Bunga bunga, which meant, wow, this is really cool. The whole thing was a hoax. They made the whole thing up. Now that's a practical joke. The boarding of the Dreadnought happened 4 years after the Dreadnought himself. Dwight Eisenhower had a press conference on February 10th, 1954, 67 years ago, and one of the reporters at the press conference said, Mr. President, there's some, we've been keeping an eye on what's going on in Southeast Asia with this whole Vietnam is, they got some fighting going on down there, the French and communists, and there's a revolution. What do you think about this, Mr. President? Should we intervene down there in Vietnam and stick our nose in somebody else's business? And I said, no. Bad idea. That's their problem. Let the French and the Vietnamese figure this one out. We really shouldn't be doing anything down there. So Ike said, let's not do Vietnam. We know, listen, 67 years ago today. 59 years ago today, February 10th, 1962, after 1 year, 9 months, and 10 days in captivity at a prison in the Soviet Union because his spy plane was shot down. We got caught, is what happened. They finally released Francis Gary Powers, the U-2 spy plane pilot. He was exchanged at the border in Berlin. He's exchanged for Rudolf Abel, who was a Soviet spy that was caught in the United States. So here we go. Okay, we're cool. Everything's great. So Gary Powers got to go home, have a hamburger or something after almost 2 years in captivity. And, well, we have a problem. 32 years ago today, February 10th, 1989, here's the deal. The New Jersey Athletic Control Board regulates sports in the state of New Jersey, any sport that can cause serious injury. That's why boxers have to have licenses in order to box. That's how that works. So they have athletic commissions. All the states have them that regulate violent sports that people could actually be seriously injured or even killed. Well, the New Jersey Athletic Control Board considered professional wrestling a sport because the WWF, the World Wrestling Federation, have been telling people for years that professional wrestling is a sport. And so the New Jersey Athletic Control Board said, okay, well, we're going to regulate you then. We're going to, the wrestlers have to have a license, and the referees and the timekeepers and the promoters, and they all have to go through the protocols. And they had to testify before the New Jersey Athletic Control Board, and the World Wrestling Federation said, it's fake. It's not a sport. In fact, the World Wrestling Federation actually wrote the legislation, and I'm quoting now. They define professional wrestling as an activity in which participants struggle hand-to-hand primarily for the purposes of entertainment for spectators rather than a bona fide athletic contest. The gig is up 32 years ago today. Of course, it's fake. You don't hit people upside the head with a folding chair and not expect to see blood everywhere. Birthdays. 3 very famous athletes. Had a chance to meet Jim Whitaker about 20 years ago. Very classy dude. Jim Whitaker, born and raised in Seattle on May 1st, 1963, Jim Whitaker became the first American ever to reach the summit of Mount Everest. Big Jim Mountain, which is 9 miles northwest of Leavenworth in the Alpine Lakes Wilderness, is named after Jim Whitaker, who continues to live in the Northwest. And Jim Whitaker is responsible for one of my favorite quotes: "If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space." Jim Whitaker is 92 years old today. Another legendary athlete, Mark Spitz, the hero of the 1972 Olympics, 9-time Olympic champion. He won medals in Mexico City in 1968. Of course, he won 7 gold medals at the Munich Olympics, all in world record time. It was an achievement that lasted for 36 years until fellow American Michael Phelps surpassed that record. Mark Spitz is 71 years old today, and happy 66th birthday to the Shark. Greg Norman, the Australian golfer, winner of 20 PGA Tour events. He won 2 majors, the Open Championship in 1986 and the Open Championship in 1993. Probably best known for not winning championships. He finished second in the majors 8 times, including his infamous meltdown at the 1996 Masters. Going to take a break at 39 minutes after the hour. Mike McDonough's got an opinion coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
What is it about Tipsy Canyon Winery that keeps people coming back? Is it the magnificent view from the hillside tasting room? Is it the exceptional but affordable wines? Or is it just the fact that you feel right at home from the minute you walk through the door? Actually, it's all this and more. Experience the Tipsy Canyon Winery located just outside of Manson. Your new home away from home.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think I'll sell my veggies at the market.
You even remember to water the house plants. I do this?
You can do this.
Hey, we need to build a home office.
We're adding another bathroom.
I think I'll study programming.
Bro, you even connect your phone to Bluetooth.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
Okay, hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, when thinking about historical people who we consider psychopaths, most people would agree that Adolf Hitler falls into that category. But, I'm not sure. I read somewhere that when Hitler dictated things, he avoided certain words because he knew his secretaries couldn't spell them. Now, concern for others or altering one's own behavior for the sake of other people is not a common psychopathic trait. Now, Hitler was certainly a monster, don't get me wrong, okay? And in addition to being a canny and hardworking politician, which he also was. I mention this because I think we need to remind ourselves of the behavior that even normal people are capable of when we insist on justifying behaviors in ourselves that others may not like. This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan.
Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I do's to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
45 minutes after the hour, we've been holding steady at 16 degrees for quite some time. We got as low as 14 degrees, so we're at the coldest temperature that we have had in over a year, and it could get even colder with it a little bit of snow even. I'm going to do the forecast one more time before we wrap up this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, but first another look at your headlines. A Wenatchee man who did not take kindly to police publicizing that they were looking for him last week, well, he was taken into custody on Tuesday. Wenatchee Police Captain Edgar Reinfeld said David Ernesto Lopez was arrested on several outstanding warrants in a trailer outside Wenatchee home. The department posted a photo of Lopez on its Facebook and Instagram pages last Thursday. They were asking for the public's help in locating him. Well, Lopez responded with a series of posts on the Wenatchee Police Department's Facebook page telling police to focus on real criminals and calling officers suckers. Police say Lopez was wanted on warrants for second-degree rape, unlawful imprisonment, first-degree negligent driving, obstructing a public servant, driving with a suspended license, and violating a domestic violence no-contact order. 3 burglary suspects were arrested after a high-speed chase. This happened early Tuesday morning. It ended when the suspect's vehicle crashed near Moses Lake. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said a deputy was doing a focused patrol because of recent burglaries in the area at about 3 in the morning when he reported seeing people loading tires into a pickup at Commercial Tire on North Frontage Road in Moses Lake. Well, the suspects then fled at speeds reaching up to 90 miles an hour. Deputies in pursuit. The Sheriff's Office said the suspects were throwing objects from the truck in an attempt to disable pursuing patrol cars before the pickup crashed at Highway 262 East and Road M Southeast. The driver, identified as 46-year-old Christopher B. Howard, had to be extricated from the pickup. He was transported to Samaritan Hospital in Moses Lake for unspecified injuries. The 2 passengers, 26-year-old Andrew Z. Paulman and 26-year-old Ricky Ann Garcia Locke, were treated and released at the hospital for their injuries. The suspects face possible charges of felony eluding, possession of stolen property, and trespassing. The man accused of abducting his former girlfriend in a terrifying car ride from Wenatchee to Ellensburg and back has now been formally charged with kidnapping. 19-year-old Trey Michael Haberlock is also charged with robbery, assault, and felony harassment for allegedly holding the woman captive, beating and threatening her at knife point, and stealing her phone during the ordeal back on January 20th. Haberlock was arraigned Monday in Chelan County Superior Court. He remains in jail on $500,000 bond. The case of a Cashmere woman who admitted killing her elderly mother may be reaching its conclusion. Lawyers say 71-year-old Anita Burgess Jones is likely to enter a plea agreement next week in the January 2020 murder of her mother, pictured there. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies found 96-year-old Catherine Burgess Wickzai dead in the Cashmere home she shared with her daughter. They say Jones called police and admitted to strangling her mother, stabbing her, and bludgeoning her to death. Jones underwent psychiatric assessment and was found competent to stand trial. The case had been scheduled to go to trial later this month. Voters in the Wenatchee, Cascade, and Manson school districts overwhelmingly approved the various levies on the ballot in yesterday's special election. The renewal of the Wenatchee School District's EP&O levy that was first approved 4 years ago passed. 61.82% of voters voting yes and 38.18% voting no. Both levies in the Cascade School District saw over 60% approval by voters. The replacement EP&O levy garnered 60.52% yes votes to 39.48% no votes. The levy designating funds for improving technology, safety, and security upgrades for the Cascade School District saw 62.02% of voters approving and 37.98% of voters rejecting that measure, and almost 70% of voters in the Manson School District approved the replacement EP&O levy, with 69.48% saying yes and 30.52% saying no. A simple majority was needed for the levies to pass. There are 2,076 ballots spread among the 3 school districts that have yet to be tabulated. Grant County Health District on Monday announced the deaths of 4 more county residents from COVID-19. The deaths bring the county's total to 109 since the pandemic began. The deaths announced Monday: a Cooley City man in his 70s, a Moses Lake man in his 70s, a Quincy man in his 70s, and a Moses Lake man in his 80s. The health district said all 4 men had underlying health conditions, and that put them at higher risk. And East Wenatchee is the 13th safest mid-sized city, and Brewster the 7th safest small-sized city in the state. That's according to a study done by the website Advisor Smith. The site says they use FBI crime data from 180 cities in our state to come up with its rankings. Wenatchee did not make the top 20 of safest mid-sized cities in the rankings. Sammamish was ranked as the safest large city, Camas as the safest mid-sized city, and Colville as the safest small city in our state. And that is news. At 52 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break. When we come back, one more trip around the valley with our Valley View cameras and that all-important weather forecast is coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel. There are so many possibilities for you to learn local right here at Wenatchee Valley College. Take classes towards a degree or certificate in more than 50 areas of study. Wenatchee Valley College now offers a large variety of virtual classes, including labs, sign language, music, and machining, and they have the resources to help you succeed in virtual classes. So when a college degree is your goal, learn local at Wenatchee Valley College.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Yeah.
There he is. Sure wish he's here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Little 4-point. It's a nice coconut. Solid fish.
Watch the Northwest Outdoorsman with Richie Herod Saturdays and Sundays at 6 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 4:30 p.m. on the NCW Life Channel.
Yahoo! Wenatchee Valley Super Sale has begun. Savings up to 50% off quality brands such as Joseph, Tribal, Karen Kane, Nick and Zoe, Habitat, French Dressing, selected sweaters, tunics, jackets, jeans, handbags, wallets, jewelry, boots, etc., etc. Freshen your wardrobe. Help us make room for all the new spring fashions. Comfy and cute styles will be shipping soon. Collins and Brighton have a Darling Heart necklace as a gift with the Brighton purchase of $100 or more. Thank you for shopping local at Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks, so bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Time to put a ribbon on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Now that the sun is up and we're past the 10-hour mark, we're going to have 10 hours and 4 minutes of daylight today, although it's going to be cold. Sunshine for the most part. Let's take one more tour around the valley. Now that the sun is beginning to climb into the sky, the Wenatchee Valley bathed in sunlight, at least the Wenatchee side of the river. East Wenatchee still in shade from our cross camera overlooking the valley proper. Beautiful view there. I just cannot get enough of that view. Phenomenal stuff indeed. God's country, that's where we live in. Thank you very much. I think we're going to use the same cameras, only Megan has moved them. So we back to I just drew a blank. Stamen Flats, thank you, Megan. Yeah, no brains, no headaches, that's my motto. Stamen Flats, of course, near the Knapp's Hill Tunnel. It's 12 degrees right now at Stamen Flats, as I have the regional temperatures up there. So what you're looking at mostly to the left side of your screen is a large swath of Douglas County and some beautiful homes along the river, and way off in the distance, the Cascade Range, and if you squint, you can almost see Mission Ridge. Camera number 3. I believe we're off to Badger Mountain with a really cool view there. I'll let you know how high up Badger Mountain is. That is just phenomenal. I think she's moved that to the south, I'm guessing. She said, no, she moved it to the north. Oh, okay, well, there you go. Wheat fields are just laying there, kind of being quiet this time of the year. I wonder what the temperature is up at Badger Mountain. I don't have that information handy right now. Good morning to the folks up north. And finally, I think we're off to the Manson Water Tower, looking in another direction. That's looking, I think, a little bit to the southwest, I'm guessing, from the Manson Water Tower. Temperatures around the region, still 16 in the Wenatchee Valley. Freddie, you're at 18 degrees. Cashmere's at 15. Chelan, you're at 12 degrees. Omak, you're at 19, but Omak is dealing with wind. The wind is out of the north at 17 miles an hour already in Omak. And the folks to the north of us, Omak, Okanagan, Riverside, you are going to be dealing with some very dangerous wind chills. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at that wind chill advisory that was issued by the National Weather Service. Not so much for us, but even when it's this cold, you don't have to be outside very long before your skin starts to freeze up and you can't move your fingers around. But look at the projected wind chills for early tomorrow morning till about noon or so on Thursday. The combination of cold Arctic air and dry Arctic air that continues to push down into the region is really going to make things feel cold in the Omak Okanagan area. That's a narrow valley and it runs north-south, so it has a tendency to be a little windy to begin with. You have the winds picking up, super cold temperatures, and you have wind chills way down there, minus 14. Are you kidding me? For the wind chills in the Omak area, Chelan -2, Wenatchee about 8 in the Wenatchee Valley, -5. Wind chill factor in Winthrop, so there's a wind chill advisory out there. And now they're talking maybe about a little bit of snow. What's going to happen here is we got that cold Arctic air coming down from the north, and there's a storm system that's going to move from Oregon into the southern part of the state, but it's also going to skirt just along the east slopes of the Cascades. So as you can see, say like the Lewis and Clark Valley down there, 4 to 6 inches. Pullman's going to get some snow, Walla Walla, Tri-Cities. But Wenatchee, yeah, light snow, super light puffy snow, intermittent off and on for Thursday and Friday, and maybe even into Saturday. Possible. From the National Weather Service, here's your forecast. Cold. How's that? They say 31. I don't think we're going to get to 31, and I'm using that on the fact that it's only 16 right now, and we only hit 29 yesterday, but okay, I'll take 30. Is there really a difference between 29 and 31? Probably not. 20 for the overnight low tonight, and then it's going to be more of a clouds, sun do battle with the clouds are going to start taking over for the most part as more cold air comes in. Look at the overnight low Thursday night, 12 degrees, possibility of some light snow. 12 degrees for the overnight low Friday with some possible light snow. Saturday and Sunday, slightly warmer, but not much. We won't even get close to normal for our afternoon high until we get to Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And again, can't rule out some light snow. Best chance of light snow probably Saturday night. Real quickly in the passes, there you go. No advisories, no restrictions on I-90. You're good to go there. Stevens Pass has a traction tire advisory with compact snow and ice on the roadway, and a lot of people heading up to go skiing, heads up there. Blewett Pass, you're fine. No advisories, no restrictions, no real snow in the forecast for the mountain passes for the next 24 hours. And then starting Thursday and into Thursday night, they're going to start getting some light snow, but nothing real heavy. That's it for us. Have a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.